Alright everybody, so I know it's been a really long time since I've posted. Life has just kind of been in the way, so I decided to make a video today. A lot has happened since the last video I made. So as you can see, I actually have the Genesis up, motors out, diffs out. I recorded me doing all that stuff, but it's just like when you don't make a video right away after recording stuff, it kind of, things get lost in the sauce. So I guess I will show you my current situation. And as you can see, things have gotten a little bit out of hand. So I ended up taking apart, I think I talked about, I bought another 1UZ. It was a 91. And turns out that thing was just really bad. There's a lot of scoring in the cylinder walls. So it was just, it needed to be bored, and had to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff to do that. So ended up taking out the motor that was in the Genesis, and turns out I think I just blew a head gasket. So I checked all the surfaces with a machinist square. I've already cleaned everything. I have it kind of taped up here, so I'm not taped up, bagged up. So as you can see, everything's cleaned. I don't know how well you can see how clean the pistons are, but that's what makes me indicate that it blew a head gasket. As you can see, that one's especially clean. But these are all a little clean on the top, so I think I just blew this whole head gasket. Same with this side. Honestly, I think I blew both head gaskets, just ripping all day. So, got this thing pretty well torn apart, ready to go. I have all the gaskets, but I'm waiting on this O-ring and the one in the back. So if you guys are ever doing a 1UZ reseal, I can't remember the part number off the top of my head, but I will put it in the description. Got a couple goodies for the Genesis. I guess I'll just go through all the parts I got. So first things first, everything is everywhere. This is from the motor I took apart, so I'm not using any of that stuff. But got Kelford springs and Kelford cams right there. Brand new, like inbox from like a local guy, so that was pretty cool. So I already started putting the springs in this one head. You can see both are cleaned, both look like that. Checked with a machinist square and a feeler gauge. I can't even get 0.2 through it, so I know everyone's like, oh, you need to go get it decked and skimmed, but I mean, this is a JDM motor, so it should only have, in theory, like 60,000 miles on it, and it really does look like it. Compared to that 1UZ I just took apart, this thing is so much cleaner. So I have new water pump, timing belt, the whole gasket kit from 1UZ Tech. So if you guys ever need like 1UZ parts, I use Zat Racing or 1UZ Tech. Zat Racing's got a lot of stuff for like swap parts, like clutches, bell housing adapter, stuff like that. They also do engine parts too, but usually for like engine stuff, I do go through 1UZ Tech, just because mainly he makes it easy for you. So I also got ARP head studs, and as you can see, I have a built diff cover for the Genesis. On top of that, I have an ATQ diff plate coming from Tommy at ATQ. Shout out to that guy. I think that's his name, Tommy. We talked on the phone for like 2 hours. That dude's super cool. So he's sending that out to me. I can get the diff plate in there, and then my drive shaft is done. I gotta go pick it up from my buddy Clay at City Drive Shaft. So a lot of things have happened like since the last video. So I mean, like I said, I have literally like 2 UZs taken apart in here, transmissions over there. I need to buy a new oil pan, I think, just to do it. Haven't put the oil pump back on because, like I said, I'm waiting for that O-ring. I have this back plate off too. There's another O-ring behind that, but I'm doing rear main seal, front main seal, those O-rings, head gasket, water pump, like literally just refreshing this motor. After doing some investigation, it is a 96 motor. It's got the fin rods. So for you guys that don't know, this is like a 91 or 89 to 94, I believe. This is what the rods you get. So you can see these things are like literal beefcakes. So I'll probably reuse those eventually. But I don't want to get the motor like rebalanced and everything, so I didn't swap them over to this motor. I did take some rod caps off to check bearings are good, so literally just a head gasket, reseal, and we're gonna run this motor until I can afford to build and turbo the other motor. I do have a turbo. It will fit on my truck, so if I don't use it, I'll probably just throw it on my truck whenever I blow that turbo. But what I wanted to do today is I did start putting the valve springs in this guy. So as you can see, I already marked the ones I did. It was really late last night when I did this, but I am doing valve seals and valve springs. I did kind of want to walk you guys through the process because maybe some of you guys don't know. There is some 1UZ videos out there, especially from Cartoon NZ, like Kelvin's really good. He pretty much is how I've learned how to do everything. But you know, maybe if you guys stumble across my video, I can show you just how in general to do valve seals and valve springs. So I'm gonna try to set the camera up the best I can and show you guys that process. I'll probably just film doing this head and do the other one off camera. I started last night just to kind of teach myself how to do it, because I mean, I've seen tons of videos, but you know, like I've never actually done it. But I did mess up 2 valve seals, and it took me like 30 minutes to get them out. So for you guys that don't know, they bottom out, but they don't go all the way to the bottom of the valve guide. So you'll kind of feel them hit the bottom, or not the, like hit the top, I guess you could say, of the valve seal, and like that's it. That's all you got to do. And if you don't know what a valve seal looks like, these guys right here. So this is from the 91 motor I took apart. This is the motor that we're using. So I'm gonna put all this stuff away. But another thing I have to do is take the scissor gears off the cam to put on the new cams. I was able to get, I believe this is the intake side off, or exhaust, I can't remember. I, for the life of me, cannot get the scissor gears off of the exhaust. So a guy that's helping me build this motor said heat and a bucket of ice and maybe a little persuasion with a rubber mallet. So we'll try that, but that's going to be later. I was really hoping to get this motor together this week, and like I literally have everything I need to put it back in the car. Have a brand new clutch from Clutch Masters, all the seals, like literally everything I need to get it back. I do got to do some wiring, and I do got to buy a CAN Lambda just so I can run a map sensor. I think I mentioned in the video before, I'm running on just TPS, which kind of sucks, or tuning on TPS. Sucks for my tuner. I don't know what I'm doing, but he does. So he wants me to get a CAN Lambda. I can't afford to upgrade to a Fury just yet, so I'm going to be stuck with the Atom for a little while. The only upgrade I'm going to do, like as far as like, I guess on the Genesis side, is I'm going to put a different fuel pump in it and rewire that to a thicker gauge wire, just because I think I was having some fuel pump issues. But I need to get the motor and stuff back in so I can like fix the wiring, because I have a ton of wiring to fix. And by the way too, I shouted out everybody, DMZ rated, I don't know if you can see it on there, DMZ Performance. He does a lot of like unique Genesis parts, like stuff that, you know, you don't usually like think of people making, such as a billet diff cover. So if you guys are Genesis guys, he's got a lot of like unique parts, especially for you swap guys. I will say this, if you are driving your Genesis on any hard way, drifting, road racing, dragging, whatever, ATQ diff plate at the least. Definitely. I've been doing a lot of research after talking to the dude over at ATQ, Tommy. Just like that thing is so over-engineered, you're never gonna break anything. So car's slowly coming together. I'm getting married next month, so I've kind of been real busy with that stuff. So that's probably why I haven't been uploading videos. And to be honest with you, it's just kind of hard when you're doing it by yourself. But I guess without further ado, we'll just get into working on the cams. On that last clip, I said working on the cams, I mean the heads, but just want to kind of go over some of the tools you're going to need to do, like to remove your valve springs and stuff like that. So this is a valve spring removal tool and installer. So if you take this out, this is actually how you remove it. You just push that on there and it'll pop the keepers out. When you want to put it back, put this guy on there, and it's got this little, like, I don't know if it's going to focus, this little deal here that pushes down on the keepers and kind of helps them go in. If you're going to do valve stems or valve seals, this is the tool you need, valve seal removal. and this is a valve seal installer. So I bought all this stuff off Amazon. I think it cost me like maybe 50 bucks altogether. I can put the links in the description if I remember, but if you want the part numbers, let's see, I don't know if there's a part number on this one. Well, it's an OMT valve spring compressor set, and then this one is the valve spring remover. There's a part number, some Chinese stuff. Works out for me, so I'm gonna do my best to walk you guys through this. This is my first time really ever doing this stuff, but as I'm kind of going through it, it's really not that bad. The valve springs themselves are pretty beefy. These are badass. I'm pretty like stoked that I got these for such a good price. Shout out to John if you watch this video ever, but valve springs and cams like brand new in box. So this car will have a little bit of chop to it. It's not going to make a ton of power. If I can make like 300 horsepower, I'd be pretty happy. But put on some gloves and maybe walk you guys through how to do this. The worst part about filming auto stuff without a cameraman, I've learning, is when you're all oily and you have to like grab the camera and stuff, it's kind of annoying. So I'm doing this on the floor because it's kind of tough. I have like a really tall table, workbench, so it's a little tough for me to do things there. So I will have to buy some more valve seals when I do the other head, which kind of sucks. I have to buy a whole new set just because I'm dumb. But first thing you need to do is you need to make sure you put something under like the valves. So what I've been doing is I got this like little memory cloth, and when Shelby gets back, I'm gonna push down the valves and blow them out with compressed air. But I'm gonna set it right there. Kind of, you can see, set it under that third set there. Should be good. I need to figure out a way to set this camera up so you guys can see this. Don't really have the best setup here. I will be right back. All right, well, I'm gonna really do it on the floor because then you guys couldn't really see. So I'll bring the head over here and do my best to do it where you guys can see it. So let me bring that over here. All right, so valve springs. I usually don't work when it's this messy, but kind of stuck, so don't have a lot of space here. So I don't know if you guys can see that very well. I'm going to be working on these ones right here. So bring all my tools back. It's always good to have a magnet with you too, just in case the keepers, they like to run away. So actually I'll work on, let's see if I move this forward if you guys can see these ones. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my super clean deal, and you see I kind of make it into a ball like in the shape of like where the cylinder actually strikes. So put that here. And then we take off this part, right? So it's this guy. And then we'll start here, and you kind of just give it a nice little, you kind of hear that pop. And that's it. Comes right out. So what I'll do here now is, because the keepers, this thing is magnetic too, so it'll like keep the keepers in there. But I'll take this, kind of take those out. Alright. And then just to make my life easier in the future, I will take the keepers, put them in the valve or the spring cap, whatever this thing is called. I actually don't know what this little ring thing is called. Spring cap, I guess? I don't know. If I can, they're really small, so if you have kind of, try to not drop it too. Everything's really oily too, and so yeah, there you go. So you can see I kind of I don't know. I put the keepers in there so they stay in there, and then go ahead and we'll knock out the other ones. Put a little weight. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the valve seals. So I really don't want to move my camera, but just for you guys, so I can show you what it looks like. So if you look down in there, that little, see if I can point at it with my magnet. That guy right here, that little deal, that's a valve seal. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna try to do this with one hand, so you guys please like the video. So you take this tool and you can see it's got kind of like this clamping deal on it. Put it on there. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this with one hand, to be honest. Yeah, it's just gonna look like that. Oh, no, I got it. So that's it. And in the bin it goes. See if we can get this other one with one hand. There we go, yeah. So you can see, got that one. Put you guys up here for the rest. But it's really not too bad. Probably just time lapse the rest of me doing this. I don't know how I have this camera set up here. There we go. Money. So, yep. And a lot of guys will oil them before they put them in. Everything's already super oily still, so I'm just kind of sending it. These things, like I said, do not make the mistake I did yesterday. They do not need to go all the way down. So slide it on there, slides over the top, push it down as much as you can with your finger. Oh, try to not drop it, that's why I shove a magnet. Drop it in. And then, where'd my tool go? No, I brought it up here. At least I thought I did. Oh, there it is. Yep. Take this guy. There's two different sizes it comes with. This seems to be the best size for me, so put it over. And honestly, it's like really not that much pressure. You can really feel it bottom out, so you'll feel like kind of like a click click, I guess you could say. And then, but if you really need like a reference, like when you take them out, just look and see like how much space there is between like the bottom of where the valve is, or like the bottom of the valve guide, and then you'll kind of get an idea. And we'll know if I put them in wrong when I start the motor and it's just smoking crazy. So, but I just do a little bit of love. Maybe a little tap if you're really wanting to go for gold. Always use a soft blow. And that's pretty much it. So now what I'll do is kind of rinse and repeat. Put the valve springs in, so I already have one out. What I've been doing with these guys is I have a cup of oil here, and I'm just kind of putting them in there, letting them get a little oily. Just like anything, you don't really want to put them in dry. Like whenever you're putting a motor together. I know I'm doing this kind of like backyard looking mechanic style, like not super legit. Like I haven't cleaned everything all crazy and hot tanked the heads and all that, but you know, it's a 1UZ, it's a Toyota motor. Should be all right. So got those in here, pretty oiled up, nice and juicy. Drop it in. Drop it in. Now, I probably should have done this side first, but I just wanted to, I knew this would be easier for me to show you guys, so I'll time lapse that side over there. But a little bit of oil on these bad boys. Put them in. Wipe my hands off because they're gross. Just crack my finger all crazy. So I hope you guys are kind of enjoying this. I know there's a lot of car stuff out there that's like overplayed, but I feel like there's really not that many 1UZ channels out there. Like everyone's building JZs and LSs, and to be honest with you, for the amount of money I've spent on 1UZs, I for sure could have built a JZ or an LS by now, but it is what it is. I like what I like, you know what I mean? So, I think this key, oh, I took all the keepers out. The benefit of having tons of 1UZ motors though is that I actually lost a keeper yesterday, but since I just took apart a 1UZ, I had another one. They don't really matter which way they go. I mean, if you want to be really like specific, you can line them up the same way I did like all the spring buckets or the tappets, and you know, you can do it that way, but they all do the same thing. There's no like tolerance to them or anything like that. So now we'll do the reverse process. I'm missing a tappet, of course, missing 2 tappets actually, so that's not legit. There's one there, is there one in here? Yep, one hiding in here. It's always good to do this. Like, I made the mistake before of like taking something apart and not being ready to put it back together in that exact moment. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it's just best to do this like when you're ready to do it. But all right, cool. So now that they're all kind of geared up, ready to go, I'm gonna start with the exhaust side because it's a little easier. So once again, come back to our tool, valve spring compressor tool. So you see I got this deal. I put this here, and same idea, get it lined up, and then just kind of give her the beans. Yeah, and that's really it. Sometimes the keepers, so this is actually a good teaching point right here. I'll show you guys. My camera all oily. So sometimes you can see, I don't know if you can really tell, that keeper's kind of like sticking up a little bit. So if that happens, you literally just put the tool back on there and then just let it rip again. So don't be afraid of it. That's what I've learned. Don't be afraid to like just give it some pressure. Oh, that was my camera. Cool. I knew that was gonna happen. Thankfully it didn't fall on anything like important. I think I broke the tripod a little bit though, but that's fine. I really need a cameraman. Shelby doesn't want to do it. I don't blame her. So, I mean, honestly, what, like maybe 10 minutes? Is that what it took to do these ones? Probably take you about an hour to do the whole deal on each side, which isn't too bad. So I'm just marking them as I've done them because, I don't know, I'm gonna do the other 2 now, but just force of habit so I don't lose myself. But yeah, so now hopefully we didn't like stick the thing or this guy into it. We will stick it over into this one, and I will attempt to do it on the table just so you guys can see. I might need to get a stool or something, just because this is tough. I might be able to bring this out a little bit. Try that. So another way you can do this, I've learned, is you can kind of give it a little hammer. See? And they just come out to you that way. So maybe we'll do it that way for this one. All right, those last 4 really fought me for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but I got it in. So this head's pretty much good to go. Probably throw the buckets back in here. See, they're all labeled. But really not a huge deal. It's pretty easy. I hope you guys learned something. Like I said, if I remember, I'll put all the part numbers for the... Dude, I need new hair. But if I remember, I'll put all the part numbers for the tools in the description. Took me maybe about 30 minutes to do that head, well, to finish it, so to do 8. So like I said, about an hour to do everything. But not too bad. I think that's going to be it for this video. The next video hopefully will be me putting the motor together, and then I can walk you guys through some of that if you guys aren't familiar with how to put a UZ apart or together. Because a lot of people see C1UZs like in LS400s and SC400s, and they look really busy because there is a lot of like external accessory stuff they have, but they're really simple motors. So hopefully in that next video I can get the O-rings, put the whole motor together, head studs. Maybe we'll go on the adventure of me figuring out how to get the scissor gears off of the cams, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while. It's just been, life gets in the way, guys. So appreciate it. Maybe the next video too, I will show you how to measure tolerance with a machinist square, if you guys have never done that. Because a lot of people will say that you have to go to a machine shop when you take a head off, and it's really just not true. It's ideal, don't get me wrong, you should definitely do that if you can, but when you have a set of heads and like a motor like mine that's low mileage, if you can just clean it, that's the way to do it. I should have made a video on how to do all that stuff, because these were a lot worse off when I got them, or when I took them off. I mean, not nearly as bad as those heads over there for the 91 motor, but still had some grime on them. But literally just WD-40, shop vac, razor, definitely a shop vac, and then air compressor if you have one. Doesn't need to be a big one. I got this little cheap Cobalt deal and this shop vac here. And if you're really feeling brave, you can use 180 grit sandpaper on a block. Just be real, like, you're not trying to take material off, you're just trying to skim. So maybe in a later video, I'm sure I'll do another head gasket one of these days. I'll show you guys how to do that. So appreciate you guys watching. Follow, subscribe, like, please, it really helps. Really want to try to get this channel going off. I'm hoping by the summertime I'll have some drift content. I know drifting's not like the most popular like thing, but maybe just the 1UZ Genesis is cool for everybody. So thanks everybody, have a good night, peace.